We are finally picking my May TBR, and though we usually use my board game or we pick like a random number generator, I wanted to switch things up a little bit. And I saw some of my favorite creators do this challenge where they use Pinterest and Pinterest pictures to kind of guide them to what kind of books they're going to read in the next month. Now, I personally watched Just Allie's video and I love the way that she did it. It was really up to like interpretation and what she saw in the book and kind of anything that she could match with the picture. So I feel like that's the vibe we're going to take for today. But she got her inspiration from Sarah Caroli. So I feel like with everything, we can kind of take our own spin on it, kind of watch what they did and see if there's anything that can inspire us when we're picking our TBR. I wanted to do this because I feel like even though I love our board game, she's getting kind of old. She's getting kind of weathered. Like, how many times can we really use her? You know what I'm saying? Like, she's had a good run. And I feel like either we need to make a new board game in the future, which I also think would be very fun, or we need to switch things up. The easier thing was to switch things up. So that is why we're here. I'm really excited to see how this challenge is going to dictate what we read. I do predict that we're gonna be doing a lot of guessing just because we have to take inspiration and interpretation from a picture. So I don't really know what that's gonna look like, but I am ready to start. But I have to warn you guys, looking at my Pinterest, I just need to give you a heads up. It's all over the place. I use my Pinterest often and for everything. I use it for the memes that I use in book club whenever we do discussions. Then I also use it for like workout inspiration. I use it for outfit inspiration. I also use it for like Instagram inspiration. What kind of pictures I want to post on Instagram. Make sure you follow me on Instagram. Make sure you follow me on Instagram. Don't make me get violent. While you're at it, like and subscribe. Okay, I'm sorry. So I use it for a lot of things. So she's kind of all over the place. I don't know what y'all about to see. I don't know what y'all about to learn about me. So I'm giving you that heads up in advance. So I think the first thing that we should do is just look at my Pinterest, see what's going on, see if there's anything that immediately grabs our attention and kind of go from there. The first picture is probably from when I was looking up Jungkook inspiration so I can kind of visualize bookish characters. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Now you know too much about me. Now you know too much about me. The second picture is probably when I was looking for outfit inspiration. Now that third picture is very incriminating, but I can explain. That third picture is probably from the memes. Hopefully. Probably from the memes I use in my book club, my Patreon book club, which is linked down below. Shameless plug. And that fourth picture is probably when I was looking for inspiration, motivational speaking, if you will. So we've got a lot going on, which is why I feel like we should shuffle. Let's try to refresh the page and see if we get some inspiration for a book. Also incriminating. Okay, let's pick a random picture. Let's pick her. I need y'all to get off my information. Y'all know too much about me now. Let's put in a prompt. She needs a little help. This isn't helping us very much. I'm really in the mood for something summery, something bright, something fun. So I'm just gonna put in the word summer aesthetic. I feel like that's gonna help us a lot. So let's see. That's not how you spell that. Summer aesthetic. Yeah. Let's see. And then we're gonna pick one at random and see if we can find a book that matches the picture. Ooh, how stunning. She is gorgeous. So we have a Black female main character. She's around produce, so maybe she's a chef, maybe she lives on an island. Let's see if we can find something that kind of matches this vibe. Okay, this is already pretty fun. So this is the only book that I could find that really matches the vibe of this picture, and that is Honey and Spice. Now this follows a young Black girl who goes to college and she's not trying to date anybody. Her heart is as cold as stone, but secretly she's a softie, but she doesn't want people to know that. And during this time, she has a radio station at school called Brown Sugar, where she kind of talks about how you can avoid situations and relationships that aren't necessarily good, or situationships in general, until one day she kisses one of the biggest players on campus, and his name is Malachi. Now she kisses this man who is supposed to be a huge player in front of every other Black student there. So now she has a reputation to fix. So she decided, you know what? The only thing that's going to fix this is if we fake date and let people know that this is more than a kiss, or pretend that this is more than a kiss. And from there, they kind of fall in love with each other, and she realizes that maybe I shouldn't be judging people so harshly, and it just follows that story. I love that it's Black love. I love love that they're young and they're in college. It's such a fun time. And though they're not necessarily around fruit and produce, I feel like there's other things that are growing there that really matches the vibe of what that picture was going for. And I think that this would be a great book to read in May. Okay, that was pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. Now we got to do book number 2. How should we do book number 2? I think the next best thing to pick book number 2 is to put in a genre that I really want to read and put in that aesthetic, and hopefully I can pick a picture from there and then try to find a book that specifically goes towards that picture. Now I know in the month of May, because it's right before summer, I definitely want to read something other than romance, just because during the summer I kind of overdo it with the romance, but I love that. So now I'm thinking like a thriller or like dark academia. So I'm going to scroll again and see if we find a good picture. All right, how about now? Ooh, okay. This is a young girl sitting in a chair reading a book. So maybe like a female main character, maybe she's a student. I know the perfect book for this. We just got Ninth House. Hold on. This is actually perfect because we were actually supposed to read this in April and I just did not get to it, unfortunately, and I was beating myself up because y'all know I love Leigh Bardugo. She wrote the Six of Crows series. We already know, I say this every video, I'm in love with this woman. So now I can redeem myself because I didn't read this in April and I was so sad about that. So now I feel like this is going to be our book number 2. If y'all remember, she's a young girl who kind of gets into Yale after having a really rough start in high school, and she's supposed to be watching over these secret societies there. And you kind of follow that. It's kind of a little bit of magical realism. It's kind of a mystery. It's a very dark, mysterious book, but I know that she's an incredible writer, so I'm really excited for this one. All right, not bad. Now, book number 3. I think at this point, I'm just going to let my Pinterest do what it's going to do. So we're going to go back to the home page, refresh the page, and the first picture we see is what we have to try to find a book for. The first picture is also very incriminating. If y'all tell anyone, I will find where you live. It's this beautiful Asian man. Can you tell I have a type? So now I have to find a book with either an Asian male character, male main character, or maybe just like an Asian main character in general, because I don't think I have a book where there's a male main character who is Asian. I don't think so, but we're gonna check. We're gonna try our best. I found one, but this is a Christmas book. They're both Asian characters, but I don't want to read Christmas books in May, so we're not gonna do that one. Let's see what else we can find. Ministry of Time. The second book in the Legendborn series. Bloodmarked. Hear me out. This is actually perfect because if y'all remember in Legendborn, there are 2 male main characters, Nick and Selwyn. Selwyn is Asian, I believe. Let me double check. If he is Asian, this is actually going to be perfect. An Asian male character.
A few moments later.
I don't actually think he is, so that's a bust.
Damn.
Let's keep looking. I have one more option. I think I got it. Now, this was written by a male Asian author that we all know. This is Murakami. Again, I've been meaning to read his books for the longest time. The problem is whenever we pick our TBR, I'm a bit of a mood reader. So if it's a book or a subject or a genre that I'm not necessarily in the mood to read, I'm not going to read it. And you guys know I don't DNF. So if I start a book, I'm definitely going to finish it. But if I don't, then I just don't. So I'm hoping that in this month, maybe we pick more than our usual 6 to 7 books, so that when I do have those slumps where I don't necessarily want to stick to a rigid plan, I can find other books within that I can definitely pick up and continue to read. So I'm glad that we have something other than a romance to add to our TBR. Now, this is about a young college student who's dating this girl, and at first their relationship is pretty strong. However, something tragic happens within their lives and they kind of get pushed apart, and from there you kind of see their relationship change throughout time, throughout their college experience, and see him grow as a man, her as a woman. So it sounds really interesting. It almost gives me like Normal People vibes, but I want to see how he interprets that type of storyline from his perspective. So I'm happy with that. Now this time I'm going to put in fantasy aesthetic and see what comes up because I do want to read another fantasy this month. Ooh, okay, this picture has dragons. I really like that. Maybe we can find something with dragons and a castle maybe? Let's see. Now, this is sci-fi, so we know it's not going to be here, but it might be down here somewhere. Let's see. All right, I think we actually have 2 really good options for this one. So the first one is the Wren and the Holly Library. Now, the reason why I picked this one is because when I think library, And I think fantasy, I kind of think of those old-timey libraries that kind of look like castles. They're huge and have these long hallways, bunch of beautiful books. So that kind of gives me like a castle vibe. And on the back, I picked this because it specifically says there's tales of beasts and beauties, creatures and stories that would keep you up at night. So when I think creatures, I'm like, okay, a dragon could be a creature. Am I stretching this out a little bit? Am I kind of reaching? Absolutely. But that's all it's giving me. So I feel like that's a pretty good guess. And this book sounds pretty good. Then the last option, this is one that has been on my TBR since it came out this year. I don't know how to feel about it because the second book in the series wasn't that great. And yet here we are. You probably already know what I'm going to say because it's so spot on with the pictures from Pinterest. But it is Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. This is the third book in the Fourth Wing series. Now, if y'all remember, the second book came out, we were reading it. We were doing a reading vlog and it fell unbelievably short. Now, it wasn't a bad book. I enjoyed it. I thought it was okay. I believe I even rated it like a 3-star. But the reason why I was so unbelievably disappointed is because the first book, Fourth Wing, was a 5-star read for me. I'm pretty sure I finished it in a day or 2 days. I literally could not put that book down. I thought it was so good. I was obsessed with Xaden. You couldn't tell me Xaden wasn't my man. And then I was going in with that expectation for the second book and I was like ready to be back in that world. I literally waited so long for the second book. I was biting my nails. I couldn't wait, counting down the days. And then when I read it, it just felt like rushed a little bit and it just felt very average. It felt like a lot of filler was in it, a lot of stuff that just wasn't necessary, and it did not have to be 500 pages. So this time, even though this book came out this year, even though I took my happy behind and bought the book, I'm not feeling the urge or the urgency to read this as much as I did the first time around after reading Fourth Wing. Now, with that being said, this book fits the aesthetic perfectly. I feel like I was going to read this year anyway. I am kind of leaning towards it because, again, Fourth Wing left such a huge impact on me. I thought it was so good. I was very disappointed with the second book, but again, it wasn't bad. And I kind of just want to know where they're at now. And I feel like if I read this book, especially now, not only can we do like a reading vlog for this book, but maybe also this will let me gauge on like, should I continue reading the series? Because I'm pretty sure it's going to be 5 books in this series. If this book is good, maybe I'll like muster up a little bit more courage and be a little bit more enthusiastic for the next book when the 4th book comes out. So I don't know. What are we thinking here? These are both really good options. I'm already kind of invested in this story. This would be a brand new story. What do we do? I don't know. I think I do know because you guys hear me talking about this book so much, but this did sound really good. I feel like we have to read this soon, maybe this year. However, I do feel like I'm leaning more towards this just because I'm already invested. I already know all the characters. I already feel like I know this girl, even though she's annoying sometimes. I already know the storyline. There are dragons. There are castles. Like, this is so spot on. This is so like perfect. With this other one, I was kind of just guessing and hoping that there were dragons, hoping that there were castles. But for this one, I know for sure. So I think we are going with this. 1, 2, 3, 4. We officially have 4 books for the May TBR. I think for this one, we should kind of just let my Pinterest do what it's going to do. Or maybe we should pick one of my Pinterest boards. What do you think about that? Now with my boards, I kind of have something for everything. I have books, I have Instagram picture inspiration, I have food, I have hair. I have so many things. So with that in mind, let me pick a specific board. I think I'm going to pick wallpaper. That's one where it's like very aesthetic, but I never know what's going to be in there. And I think this would be a fun one to just pick at random. Ooh, you can tell I was in an emo phase here. I actually really like these pictures though. I feel like we should have something with the ocean, something very blue. Maybe it's blue in motion. Maybe it's like a blue cover. I don't know, but I'm really like feeling pulled toward this picture. So with that in mind, no, I have the perfect book for this. Hold on, hold your horses. I'll be right back. A tale for the time being. This is so perfect because this girl, she finds a lunchbox that just washes up on shore from the ocean, and it's from this little Japanese girl, and she's talking about her life and when a tsunami hit her town, and it seems very sad but also very like informative and inspiring a little bit. So I think that this is actually the perfect book. It just came to me like randomly. Honestly, I'm having so much fun doing this challenge in this way just because When you're picking pictures from Pinterest, you have so much creative freedom. Yes, you're kind of bound to like what's in the picture, but you get to decide like what is pointing to you most. What is something that is standing out to you most in these pictures? And then trying to make them correlate with the books is such a fun way to pick out books that you haven't read or haven't thought about in such a long time. Because this book right here, I've had this book on our shelves for years, literal years. I think I've actually had it for 3 years.
Damn.
Which is insane. But now that I have this option to like pick a book based on this picture, now I'm seeing her again, which is so nice. I don't know. I think I'm advocating for you to try this at home because I'm having a bowl. Now I think we should pick maybe 3 more. I think 8 books will be pretty good because we usually read 5 to 6. And if we have that little bit of extra wiggle room, maybe we'll just finish everything in the TBR. I don't know. I'm doing a lot of maybes here. Y'all know I'm usually not good at sticking to these, but it's fun to do it. I kind of liked being in my wallpaper board just because they're so unique, they're so different, and I think we can find another good gem in there, but this time I'm just gonna scroll and see what happens. Let's see what we fall on here. It's a bunch of rocks.
Damn.
Why? Let's try again. Here. It's a tree. We can do better than that. Last try. Okay. This looks like Japan, but it also looks like an open field, a big sky. This one's very open to interpretation. I don't really know what's going on here. We could do like a sci-fi because we're looking at the sky. We could do a small town because it looks like a small town. We can do something in Japan. There's a lot of options here. Let me see if I can find anything. Ready Player One. Wait, I think I have a good one for this. How about Demon Copperhead? The reason why I think that this is perfect is because in the picture, it kind of looks like a small town or maybe humble beginnings if you're trying to look at it from an artistic perspective. And this book follows a very interesting young boy who's gone through so much. And I feel like I need to read the back for you just so you can see where the vision is, because honestly, this book sounds really good. So this is what it says. Demon Copperhead is the story of a boy born to a teenage single mother in a single wide trailer with no assets beyond his dead father's good looks and copper-colored hair, a caustic wit, and a fierce talent for survival. In a plot that never pauses for breath, relayed in his own unsparing voice, Demon braves the modern perils of foster care, child labor, and derelict schools, athletic success, addiction, disastrous love, and crushing losses. Wow. Through it all, he reckons with his own invisibility in a popular culture where even the superheroes have abandoned rural people in favor of cities. Many generations ago, Charles Dickens wrote Demon Copperfield from his experience as a survival of institutional poverty and its damages to children and its society. Those problems have yet to be solved in ours. Dickens is not a prerequisite for readers of this novel, but he provides its inspiration. In transposing his epic novel to her own place in time, Kingslauver has enlisted his anger and compassion, and above all, his faith in the transformative powers of a good story. Wow! That sounds like a mouthful, and it also sounds like a good time. I'm ready for this. I feel like it's gonna make me cry, but I'm also prepared for it. Like, that book was probably gonna be on my shelf for some years, just because I didn't plan on reading it anytime soon. I just really wanted it. So it's really nice to like have it at the front of my mind now. All right, I think we're gonna get out of my wallpaper board and try something fresh. All right, we're just gonna see if we find anything random, and we're gonna pick any picture on the screen that kind of fits a book that I feel like I have on our shelves. Let's see. All right, so there's a picture of a young girl. She's holding matcha, flowers, and a book. Another picture, it looks like one of the wallpaper aesthetics that we had, and it's a girl in the ocean. Another one is an ad, but below that is a girl reading her Kindle. So we can do a book about books. I love when there's books like that. We can do something with a female main character, maybe a romance, maybe a small town romance. There's a lot of options here. So I'm gonna look through the books once again and see if there's any that follow a picture, and I'll tell you why I did it. Wait a second, we can kind of combine the pictures too. So there's a picture with a young girl in matcha, and then there's also a picture of a girl in the ocean. You know what that directly reminds me of? Pictures of You.
Wow.
Yeah. And this sounds so good. Okay, hold on. This book is about a girl who's grieving the loss of her dead husband. However, she's doing so in the hospital because her husband passed away in a car accident. And now that she's thinking back at her husband, she can't really remember anything about him. So her best friend, Drew, Yeah, it's looking like a second chance romance. Her best friend Drew is trying to help her navigate this new life of hers, and while she's doing that, she's kind of getting to know him again, and it looks like she ain't gonna be mourning her husband for long. You know what I'm saying?
Out of pocket for that.
I know that's terrible. I know that's terrible to say, but that's what the bag is telling me. I don't know. It's saying a second chance romance. It's talking about her best friend Drew. That's what it sounded like. And it sounds really good. The cover is exactly what we needed it to give. It's a young girl in the ocean. What more can we ask for? Also, I really like my copy because it's an advanced reader's copy. You love to see it. And it also has a sticker so people know I'm legit. You know what I'm saying? Okay, with this one, I have a new idea. How about we look at my nails board? I find a picture with nails that I really enjoyed that I think are really pretty. And then based on that picture, I try to find a book cover that has that color. Unique, right? Okay, let's try that. I also just got my nails done. Look at them. I wanted to do my natural nails again because as I told y'all, in December, I really ruined my nails. And after that, I got a little scared and I didn't do my nails for a long time. And now we're finally back to doing them. And I think I'm just going to do the powder nails from now on because they look pretty good. And they don't ruin my nails. So there's that. Ooh, these are so pretty. Okay. How about orange? This set is so pretty. I think it's really gorgeous. It's kind of the summery vibes that we're going for. Maybe I can find a book with an orange cover. Maybe a book speaks to me about oranges. I don't know, but I think this is the picture we're going to go off. Let's see what I can find based off of that. Now this first option that I have is a book that I actually got in LA when we did the HarperCollins reading vlog, and this is a book that I got from the Ripped Bodice, so it's obviously a romance, and it is called Sammy Espinosa's Last Review. Now apparently she is a music critic and she's going back to her hometown because her old flame, or someone that she used to admire, is now a rock star, but he's a recluse, so he doesn't really talk to anyone, and she's going there to try to interview him or hang out with him a little bit to see his process, and then from there they're kind of forced to interact with each other, and maybe not, something happens, we don't know, but it is a romance. And again, I got this from the Rip Bodice and I just love the cover. What? It is so cute. She's like such a cool girl. She's definitely main character. I don't really care about him, but I love that they use headphones. And you know what's crazy? I know this is a side note. I love the headphones where it still has the wires. I don't know. It's just so cute. It's adorable. I really like it. And it feels like very main character-y. Yes, I always use my AirPod Maxes, but I always love having the little plug-in ones. It just feels right somehow, you know? And I love that they have that on the cover. So this is option number one. Option number two is a new book actually that came out this year. It's Promise Me Sunshine. This is by Cara Stone. I've never read a book by her, but I did hear that this was really good. If I can remember correctly, the main character, she lost her best friend, so she's grieving. She doesn't really know what to do with her life anymore. She's kind of just lost at this point. So she starts babysitting randomly. She kind of lied about her credentials and got the job. And the family that she's babysitting has a family member that she connects with. He kind of like gives her a reason to live a little bit and like really start living life again. And from there, they develop a relationship. So that sounds really, really good. I also love the cover. It's really beautiful and it sounds like it's going to be more than romance. I love when romance books have more than just the main steamy romance. Like I love when you can learn something outside of that, like a life lesson, and it sounds like it's giving that vibe here. And last but certainly put the fries in the bag. That was pretty bad. That was pretty bad. It's definitely past my bedtime. We're gonna try that one more time. Last and certainly not least is Parable of the Sower. I picked this one just because the spine is the exact same color as the nails. So I was like, why not? I forgot that the main cover is not like that, but it's fine. It's fine. It's Octavia. We're going to say no to Octavia? Come on. Anyway, this is Parable of the Sower. As y'all know, so far throughout the year, we've been reading one classic a month, and I love that. And this can be my modern day classic for May. It's very scary because it is very parallel to what we're living through now. But hey, it's now or never. And those are the 8 book options that we have for May. We got a lot here. Look at this stack. It's as big as my face. It's insane. We've got so many goodies though I'm really excited about. So we have Promise Me Sunshine. We have that one. I can't see them. We have that one. Parable of the Sower. Pictures of You. Demon Copperhead. I'm honestly Honestly, really excited about this one. I feel like this one's gonna hurt me, but it's also gonna be really good. We have A Tale for the Time Being, Onyx Storm. Let's see how that is. Ninth House, that's definitely number one. I'm definitely most excited for that. And we have Honey and Spice. I've definitely had Honey and Spice for at least 3 years, so I'm glad to finally get it off our TBR. And that is everything that I'm reading in the month of May, or will at least attempt to read. I really do think that we can get through 6 of these, but we may not get through 8 of them, which is fine because I am a mood reader, and I think that just having the option to read something else is really going to help me. Let me know in the comments below which book you think that I should start with, which book you're most excited for me to read, and what books you're reading in the month of May. That's it for me. I love y'all so much, and I'll definitely see you guys in the next video. Bye! This is a workout for real. This is at least 30,000 pounds. At least.